Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Vetting America, episode 28. I'm your host, Adam D. Cummings. Today's show features Sergeant First Class JayR McIntyre, who served in the United States Army from 2002 to 2014. He's currently CEO and founder of his own security company called Rat Pack Worldwide Security. This afternoon, we'll be discussing transitioning from a combat MOS to contracting to private security, how he was able to transform himself from following orders to creating them, mindset overhaul, and successful military transitioning. Thank you so much for coming on the show,
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank
Seriously. So let's jump right back into it. Give us a brief synopsis of what Rat Pack's all about.
Okay.
What your vision for it is, and what you got going on today.
Okay. Well, Rat Pack Worldwide Security was started when we got sent to Puerto Rico. The Hurricane Maria hit, and we gathered up 6 of our guys. We got sent to Puerto Rico, and we was a contractor of the subcontractor, but we got left behind. 45 days, no food, no water, no resources. But
It sounds like combat deployment.
Yes, but as being in the military, we adapted. And we told each other that this was never going to happen until a good veteran again, because we were all veterans. And we gave our time, our money, our places, and the guys I went with was good guys. And then my best friend and my co-owner is Remy Rodriguez, and we went over there, and he had family, and then we connected with his family, and we walked through the neighborhoods giving out fuel, money, food, everything else on our dime. Because we want to say, hey, this is what we can do as veterans.
Change you want to see.
Yes.
I love it.
And our vision is just to put a good security personnel on every man that as possible worldwide. Understanding security as a mindset. Looking the part is half the battle.
Talk a little bit about this Bronze Star you have here.
I got awarded this Bronze Star when I was in Iraq and in Mosul. And I got awarded this by pulling troops out of combat and protecting my own. And at the end of the day, a lot of my buddies that got this award, they're not here no more. So I cherish this as an accolade, because where I come from, nobody has these awards. So it's precious to me, and it lets me know, hey, JayR, don't stop there. Keep going.
Absolutely. I love it. So tell us a little bit about what you learned in the Army and how it helped you become the man that you've become today.
Man, I learned a lot in the Army, how becoming a man. My father raised me by himself, but it taught me my assets and how to understand who I was as a leader and what kind of leader I wanted to be. And as moving up through the ranks, how to understand the type of people that come in the military and how to cater to them and understand and get these soldiers to work for you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people use their leadership and they yell. I was the action. Hey, let's go out here and do this. Let me show you how to do this. Let's move forward. And then taking my troops in and out of combat. I did 55 months in combat. And at the end of the day, I had to understand at a fast pace that these kids are 18, 19, 20, 21 coming in just like I was. And they want to get home to their wives. They want to get home to their family. They want to get home to their mothers. And they're scared. So to understand, hey, we got to do our job. This is what we trained for. And Sergeant McIntyre is going to bring you home.
Yeah, you know? I love that. That's amazing. So you were also a military contractor.
Yes.
You just couldn't get enough of it.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about that and what did that do for you towards the rest of your life now?
Well, I always loved tactics, and I always felt that I was here for a purpose and how to put boots on the ground. And my father said, he always told me, JayR, discover your purpose. And I think that, I tell my kids, we got to continue to fight the monsters over there. And the monsters, they would continually try to come to the United States and do harm. But if you have guys like us that's always ready to teach that and understand that, then we'll be okay.
Absolutely, that's right. So what are some of the leadership principles you learned in both the Army and then also as a contractor that helps you now with Rat Pack and with what you're doing today?
Wow, just understanding the type of networking and understanding the literature and understanding the audience. The audience can be here, the audience can be the community, the audience can be a stadium, the audience can be a small church. Understanding them and catering to that and understanding that, hey, we can work together. I'm no different than the next veteran, but I think my leadership and my ambition goes further than that, you know.
So how'd you go from service member to contractor to now business owner? So talk a little bit about that transition and that phase in your life.
Well, I think that we was taught in the military to always think 2 steps ahead. So I've always been a business 15. Owner. I've always been that, and the way my father taught me. And I had several businesses running around when I was in the military, but this just caught my attention, and me and Remy, we took off on it. And
this guy started the gi dunks, didn't you?
Yeah. And this is our love and passion, and we love what we do, and we're trying to change the way security is perceived. Security right now is at the lowest sector, and it should be at the highest, because coming into these facilities and these buildings and understanding that it's situational awareness. It's looking the part. It's understanding. You paying guys $10 an hour. You think they want to put their life on the line? No. Train them the right way they should, and then pay them right. And then I guarantee you, nothing's going to happen. And if it happens, they understand. They take pride.
Pride is everything.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying pride can be a bad thing, but taking pride in your work and what you do is everything if you want to be the best.
Right.
And that's pretty much what I'm getting, what Rat Pack Worldwide Security is.
Right.
So explain what's your differentiator and why are you the best?
We're the new wave. So I think that the big companies been around for a while, and that's good because we need that example.
Yeah.
But now it's time because big companies will crumble. So now it's time for the new wave, understanding that we can work together and hey, this is what we can offer because we are I think we call ourselves the newer age vets. We after 9/11, we know these guys. We know what we do. Don't shelf us. A lot of my peers are shelved and they sit in the house and they play video games all day and they don't understand the concept of transitioning from military to civilian. That's because we're not given that opportunity, and then the veterans are not giving themselves that opportunity, so they go hide, and that's understandable because they don't want to be pushed over no more. But if I don't want to
be a burden at the same time,
a burden, right?
Such a weird paradox.
And if I could grab these good guys and women and say, hey, we can get back into the fight, but this is a niche. This is our fight. Yes. This is the security because churches and schools are being attacked all the time, and we got to understand that. And if we could put an able body in every church and school and understand that we can understand that type of crowd. And we can do our job the right way, then we won.
Oh, 100%. So one of the hardest things I've learned in entrepreneurship is building a team.
Yeah.
It seems like you've built a very strong team around you,
Right.
very dedicated, very proud, and able-bodied veterans.
Right.
So how did you choose your people, and how did the Army prepare you for that team building?
Well, so having my platoon, when I first had my platoon, I had 31 soldiers, and I had to understand from each background, ethnicity, religion, where they came from. If you came from Utah, everywhere.
Lead everyone the same.
Yeah.
Lead everybody. You got to lead everybody differently, but treat them all the same.
Exactly.
That's what I learned in my first deployment. Was everybody's different. And for them to respect you, you need to be able to respect them first.
Exactly. And that's how I chose my team, because I chose them individually on their work ethic and how they can contribute to us being Rat Pack and being a brother and sisterhood, because it's a family. We don't have that no more. Nope. Hey, you want to come work for me? Hey, I'm going to tell you what to do and you knock out the job. How about being a family? How about bringing back the picnics? How about bringing back the family? How about saying, hey, you know what? If you need something, I got you. And we also help a lot of veterans get into disabilities. And hey, go back to school, better yourself. Don't sit on the couch and play Fortnite. Let's help each other out, you know?
So how did you meet Remy, and how did he become your co-owner?
Remy, actually, I met Remy in Korea. He was one of the, actually him and Josh was one of the top 13 foxes in our community, JFO, JTAC. And when I met him, I knew instantly that we would kick off, but actually we're kind of like a yin and yang. He's the brains of the business, and I just push. I'm the innovator. Yeah. And actually, he's one of the smartest guys I know. He's going to school for biochemistry. He will graduate in December, and then he's going to be a doctor. Now I will have a doctor along in my business that can do the same thing as a regular doctor, but put boots on the ground as security, static security all through the world. And how we can merge together, I'm business. And he's that paperwork type of guy, and if we can attract everybody into that business and understand, we got out the military, but we're not going to stop running like the military. That's how I set up. I got a chain of command.
If you have a successful system, why? I'd say overhaul it.
Exactly.
Why change it completely?
I would tweak it, but my chain of command is just like the military. I never deviate. I got a sergeant major that works right along with me, and he's my mentor. He's giving me advice and letting me know, hey, JayR, stay the course, because it gets hard. It gets hard, but at the end of the day, it's just the right person has to notice what you're doing, and then there it is. We're trending on social media, and we have a lot of jobs coming up. Good. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to attract them business owners to say, you know what, Rat Pack is the new wave.
It definitely is. So how can the Vetting America community help you? How can we bring you value?
We're doing it right now. Talking to another veteran and complimenting his business, what you do and what we do, in exposure. I think it's exposure at its highest level, and I think that we got to understand that and manipulate that to what we got to do, because that phone, social media is big, and if we could continue to push that limitless effort, it's limitless. We can see that, and I see the future. And me and Remy, we have sleepless nights all the time talking about where Rat Pack is going and where we will be. And I told him, I'm 37. By the time I'm 40, I will be on the Forbes magazine, because we understood how to manipulate our way through that matrix and say, hey, we did it.
Yeah.
No more sleepless nights. No more crying. No more. This is for our veteran buddies that they not here no more, and that's what makes us different, because we pushing it for them guys that's not here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, persistence and consistency, man. That's everything. And what I'm learning is a lot of veterans, while still labeling themselves as military vets and this and that, they push a lot of the military and leadership traits and everything that we learned away.
Right.
But if you just double down on the discipline, the consistency, the persistence, and welcome the suck,
Right.
you'll be successful in entrepreneurship. You'll be
Exactly.
successful in business.
Right.
The hardest part is getting out of your own way and believing in yourself that you can do it.
Right.
We're always being told what to do.
Right.
And all of a sudden now, you're having to tell people what to do.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Like, how were you able to go from taking orders to giving them? I found that to be one of the hardest things for me when I started my businesses.
Well, I've always been a great leader, and I always felt that I could relate to some kind of community and some kind of audience. And it's going to be one person in that room out of 100 going to be like, JayR, I want to go with you. So when me and Remy started Rat Pack, once we put it out on social media, all of our old soldiers, all of our friends, all of our family was like, I want in.
Yep.
But we had to select few because at the end of the day, we want certain criteria to push this. You know, we are a brotherhood and we are a family, but at the end of the day, I want people to see this logo without me wearing it and say, you know what, they're professional. I want them a part of our team, you know?
So what are some of the trials and tribulations that you've gone through, and how were you able to overcome them so far in this business?
Oh, wow. Just being young and being a minority and thinking that we don't understand that security terminology, which we do. And I'll be straightforward. The company been started since July 3rd. We had our business license for 21 days. We already have had agriculture called on us because they don't understand our terminology because of who we are and how we are pushing Rat Pack to the front. And we're not taking no for an answer. And we're doing it the professional way.
Okay.
You know?
So being a minority business owner, has that at all helped you in any way, or has it just been a struggle?
Right. So me getting involved in all these little audience and stuff like that is opening my eyes to everything. And I love it because I get to see and dissect it and understand what I want to take from it and what I want to bring to it. And being a minority business owner is not an excuse. Actually, I think it's a privilege to understand who we are, what we could contribute, and say, you know what, we actually did fight for our country too, and this is what we provided, and this is what we could do. But at the end of the day, I think we all should be part of a team, and gave an understanding and a chance.
Man.
That's it. Yeah.
That's why I love the 1 Million Cups family, is because it's all community over competition. It's all, I saw you, you're a vet, you have an awesome business, how can I help you?
Right.
And I really feel that that's why I love Tampa, and that's why I love Florida, is because the barriers to entry when it comes to business are so limited.
Right. It is.
So why Tampa and why Florida?
Well, I left Texas and retired. I actually got out the Army in 2015. I retired. I left everything behind and wanted to see if I could create the same JayR and do it somewhere else. So I came here and stayed in a hotel for 4 weeks with my dog, Mega, and then found a house, and then start going to school, and then now we're here now. And I wanted to do this by myself and say, JayR, if you did it in Texas and California, you can do it here.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
I don't know, well, my Rat Pack family, but everybody else I don't know. And then you, so.
Yeah, and it's great.
Yeah.
It's, that was the biggest problem with me with my transition, was I kind of isolated.
Right.
I kept pushing everybody away and everything away. I wouldn't go to events. I wouldn't go meet other veterans. I wouldn't do anything. And then when I started my business, I was like, I have no choice now.
Right.
And I had learned about some places to go when I was in school for entrepreneurship and everything.
Okay.
And then I just started immersing myself in the entrepreneurial community down here, and specifically the veteran entrepreneurial community. Changed my world, man. It's beautiful down here.
This is nice. Since meeting you, we got opportunity to do another podcast next week with someone you interviewed 2 days ago. And then we got we doing the veteran pitch on November 3rd.
Nice,
for the competition.
Operation Startup.
Yes.
Yeah, for Vet Symposium.
And then we do 1 Million
great.
Cups December 13th.
Good.
So I'm trying to integrate ourselves into this business atmosphere, because we want to be, approachable. We don't want to be always tough guys, security. No, we are approachable. We are business. This is actually a business.
That's what I never understood about the security industry. It seems like everybody, I get it, you're serious, I get it, you're looking for threats and stuff like that, but it's almost this air of not, I wouldn't say arrogance, but of like, maybe not entitlement, but you're not very pleasant to be around.
Right.
And so it's like, why am I going to hire a company that makes me uncomfortable when they're around?
Exactly.
So is that what you're changing? Is you're trying to bring kind of like like you said, a new age look and feel to where I can actually go talk to my security guy. I can learn about your industry.
Yes.
I can maybe not feel scared when I don't want to be scared by the security people supposed to be securing me.
Yes.
And I get about being tough, and I get about being direct.
Yeah.
But, you know, if I ask you a question and you look at me and you, like, I'll never hire your company.
Exactly.
Because that's how you're going to treat the people that I'm bringing around,
Right.
which are a direct representation of me.
Right.
I don't want the people that I do business with being scared and being intimidated.
Right.
So explain a little bit about like how are you able to notice that and how are you able to fix that?
Well, the other half of battle is verbal jujitsu. We don't want to put hands or
why?
feet or anything on anybody.
Last
If something
result.
happens, hey, sir, we got to take you out of this environment. We'll walk you to your car. Make sure you get home safe, because at the end of the day, I want to get home safe. I have 2 kids, so I want to make sure
See?
that I can tell that story
Relatable.
to them. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of tough guys, but they don't know the tactical knowledge. There's a lot of tactical guys that really don't want to integrate. So at the end of the day, I'm trying to make that bridge and say, hey, you know what? We are businessmen. If you see Rat Pack and you see that shield, we're professional. We'll talk to you. We'll make sure you're good. And we do our job at the same time. Because while I'm talking to you, I'm watching the whole room too. So
100%.
Yeah.
I love that. It's escalation of force.
Yes.
You know, ROE.
Yeah, our ROE is different. Our ROE is way different, and we want to make sure
It needs to
that
be.
we're very polite to people and professional.
I've talked to bouncers and clubs and stuff, and they used to brag about
Knocking-
beating people
yeah,
up,
yeah.
knocking eyeballs
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
My one buddy told me he knocked
Yeah.
an eyeball out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
why are you proud of that?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be proud of hurting your clientele, of your employer's clientele, or,
Yeah.
or the person that you're making a strategic partnership with. So that's
And that's the guys we don't want, because
Yep.
we have insurance and we don't want a liability. But at the end of the day, I don't want tough guys. I don't, because a lot of tough
smart
guys are the guys that when we go overseas, that something happens. We don't want that. We want thinkers. We want somebody who can understand the situation and diffuse it.
And so I'm big on mindset,
Yeah.
and it seems that you've always had a strong mindset, but obviously through the years you've just made it your main focus of just
Right.
trying to get out of your own way and tackle the mission and get it done. So what kind of mindset overhaul have you brought to your life that you now bring to your company that allows the training of your employees to do what it is that you want them to do, in the terms of like they're representative of you,
Right.
and basically you want more JRs out there.
Right.
So how do you do that?
Just doing the same thing I asked them to do.
Okay.
Like every license, we got it. DG, K, everything that we let them know, we have done it before. There's nothing I would tell my guys to do that I have not done, and I want to make sure that we lead by example. Because a lot of guys that are CEOs, they tell you, but they don't go out there and show and improve.
They're just like, hey, I'm here.
I want to be able to say, let's go to the range. We all shoot together, and we continue making each other better. And it's competition, and understanding that, hey, this is all family. And hey, if I lead from the front the right way, you're gonna follow.
It's
You know?
respect.
Yeah.
It really is. It's leading from the front is everything.
Right.
So what are some of the issues you're regularly seeing in the veteran community in regards to creating happiness and success post-military service?
Well, a lot of our veterans, they deal with PTSD, and that's understandable because we all have been through that issue. But okay, now it's time to understand that and improve, because nobody can take that away from you.
Yes.
I've been through my share of experiences. I was hospitalized a 9-day, a 13-day, and a 45-day inpatient. But I had to understand who I was. But at that level, I broke down, but I didn't let that break me. I started writing poetry and understanding who I was and delivering it to the doctor and the nurse, saying, hey, you deal with these PTSD patients, but here's a look inside my life, and understand that, hey, we have always been 2 different people. I'm protecting that little boy I always been. And if I never
Dang,
created that
truth right
aura
here.
around,
Yep.
then I wouldn't be who I am right now. Yes, I saw friends die. Yes, we took lives. Yes, we've been in some pretty bad situations.
Yep.
And that's another sector to talk about. But at the end of the day, we are stronger together. So I talk at the hospital. I'm the SVA president at my school. Operation Men, Wounded Warrior, and Mission Continues. And we let veterans know, hey, you know what? We understand what you've been through, but let's get up out the house now.
Yes,
because
seriously.
you are, if you look at the ERBs, these guys are the top tier. But they don't want to, because they have had negative responses in the community. We have ones drive with the disabled license plates. Sometimes people come at them wrong because they look able, but they don't know that they've been going through some stuff. But these guys fought for our country, these women and men, and they have disabled license plates. But don't eradicate them.
I had an MCT instructor, a Marine Combat Training instructor, who had really bad PTSD, that when he got back from deployment, he was on the highway and a truck tire exploded. He thought it was an IED, and he pulled the car, flipped the car in the middle of the highway, caused this huge pile up. His family was in the car, and he literally had thought that there was an IED that just went off.
Right.
And just hearing that story is there's a reason why veterans that have gone through combat and deal with PTSD
Right.
and depression and anxiety
Right.
are disabled.
Right.
Because you don't ever know when it's going to trigger.
Kick up again, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And we pride ourselves by getting our veteran friends and pulling them out that slump and showing them there's a better way. Because we have a lot of good guys that suffer through that. And I done pulled a lot of guys out the hole and say, hey, listen, this is what we can offer. This is how I can help you. Now let me take you and get help and figure yourself out. And them guys are the best veterans out there, because it's a difference between a veteran and a combat veteran. You know, and being a combat veteran, our mindset is different. Our situational awareness is different. Our paranoia is different, and we use that to advantage. It's not a negative no more. That's our superpower.
That's the thing.
We understand that.
Is you gotta. Every weakness can be used as a strength. It's just all about how you view it.
Exactly.
And sometimes it's hard because those mentalities are attached to memories that may not be savory.
Right.
And if you can remove the memory from the mindset and understand that it's just who you are,
right,
and use it to your advantage, I think that that's a way for a lot of veterans to get out of their own way and start chasing the happiness and contentness.
Yeah.
So if you have one piece of advice you can give a transitioning military veteran so they could avoid some of the pitfalls that you've been through, what would it be?
Ask a lot of questions.
Yes.
Don't because when you get out of the Army, a lot of the people are military. A lot of the servicemen and women are getting out and they upset because of their service. Somebody did them wrong. Somebody pissed them off.
We all been done wrong.
And at the end of the day, when they shut the door in the Army, I don't want to see no more Army people. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't even want to talk about my service, and they hide. And my advice would say, ask questions. And that's why we want to be able to get into the ACAP program and present what we do as Rat Pack, because not only do we provide jobs, we provide help. We are veterans too. We are combat veterans, so you're no different than us. This is what we did. My 15-month deployment alone would explain how I feel as JayR, and understand that, hey, I could relate to anybody that served in combat, because 15 months was a long time. I thought it never was going to end.
My God.
And that kicked my butt right there mentally, because my son was born, and when I came home, he was 15 months old, and he was running and walking. So I didn't see him as a baby. So when I came home, I seen my little mini me, and it's like, time keeps flying.
Yes.
And I make them understand that, and that's just a little insight, you know.
How were you able to let go of Sergeant First Class McIntyre and become JayR McIntyre? I
think the rank, it shouldn't make the person in the military. I think it's just levels. And at the end of the day, I always have been that. That's been me. You know, my first sergeant told me when I was a E3, if he can promote me to E7, he would have, because the type of knowledge I had and my leadership qualities. When people make that rank, it doesn't make them. You understand who you are as a private, as a specialist, as a sergeant, as a staff sergeant, as a sergeant first class, first sergeant. And granted, people make rank, and sometimes we think that they don't deserve it. And then some people make rank, and they do. But at the end of the day, when you transition to civilian world, that don't matter no more. It's who you are. Yes. So when people always mention their title, it's like because they're insecure of who they are. Be you, and then let the title come later. Yes. So when people meet me, I tell them I'm JayR. You was a military, I give them my card. Oh, I didn't know you was that. Yeah, this is what I did. But that don't make me. It helped me, but it don't make me. It doesn't define you. It's just a part of you. Yes. So real quick before we get going, how do we find more about Rat Pack Worldwide Security? Throw some links, throw some handles. Let us know. You can find Rat Pack on Instagram. We're trending. It's Rat Pack Worldwide Security. That's on Instagram. On our website, www.ratpackworldwidesecurity.com. You can find us on Twitter, Rat Pack Worldwide Security, and you can find us on LinkedIn. So we're offering jobs, DNG license, and we'll be opening our school in December, January, and we want all the veterans and anybody that wants to be a part of Rat Pack Worldwide Security to come look for us, because in the next year, you're going to see this show, and you're going to say, hey, you know what? I should have called them guys up. So, there you go. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. I would like to thank our guest, JayR McIntyre of Rat Pack Worldwide Security. He served in the Army from 2002 to 2014. I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors, Richard McIntyre of McIntyreFirm.com, Chris Chrismistos of Podfest.us, and of course the amazing Anthony Kovic of the Tampa Post. This wraps up another edition of Vetting America. I'd like to thank everyone at home. Please like and share this video. And if you ever want to be a guest, if you want to donate, hit me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, hit me up at the Tampa Post. Wherever you can reach me, I'm here for you guys. So thanks again for another great interview. I'll see you next week.